With full design, fabrication, CNC machining and turnkey solution departments, what CAD/CAM system do you think they're using here at Stour Precision Tools?
I'm Paul Skelly, the site manager of Tebis UK. Tebis is a CAD/CAM software, also an MES software, and we also perform services for consultancy and implementation to give the customer an all-round manufacturing process solution. So back in 2023, when I met Clive from Stour Precision, Clive informed me that he was purchasing a Soroloose machine, and one of the things that he was concerned about would be collision checking on this machine, because the parts that are being produced here are very big fabricated parts that could be on this machine, and things like access to them and making sure we have collision-free programs was really important, especially for how expensive and high-end this machine is.
Stour Precision Tools was founded in 1966 as a family-owned business. I'm second generation as the managing director of the current Stour Precision Tools as we see it today. We design and manufacture complete work holding solutions that encompasses our in-house fabrication capability, our full machining facility, electronics installation and hydraulics installation. We work primarily with large, high-end automotive and off-highway vehicle installations where high volume and quality is key. We became Tebis customers in 2023 after we'd bought a Soroloose traveling column machine. The importance for us there was to actually be able to simulate the work axis effectively into large complex fabrications that we manufacture. The main issue we had was not having a digital twin of the Soroloose machine. We were struggling to effectively have a good tool collision understanding. So we required that ability to be able to have the product actually modeled on the machine and actually have the model twin effectively of our machine to prove out that we've got no collisions with either the part or the tooling.
When we look at the virtual machine of Tebis, the digital twin of the machine itself, this is really important because in Tebis we have the ability to build all of the kinematics of the machine into the software. So things like the rotational limits of the machine head, the linear limits of the machine, all of these things, maybe even macros that, if you like, are for Stour Precision themselves. Things like the head change macro, the tool changes, all of these are included in the virtual machine to give us a safe process. And this is really important for this whole digital twin because we need all of this information to give collision or reduce the collision risks of the customer. Predominantly for Stour Precision, what's really important is collision check-in. And they're able to do this in Tebis software because we're able to, first of all, plan the setup of the part on the machine. As I mentioned, we have big fabricated parts, and it's really important to understand, are we going to be able to get round the part? Is there going to be a collision of the machine head if we make a certain movement, a tool change or a head change on the part? Maybe it's even just accessing some of the areas that we need to machine, like drill holes. And this is really important that first of all, we understand the planning, the setup of the part before it goes on the machine. And then afterwards, the collision checking afterwards to make sure programs are collision free and we're reducing this risk of collisions.
The one license of Tebis that we have, it's enabled us to do pre-programming effectively on the Soroloose, so that we can improve our efficiency of having programs pre-proven, fully simulated before the actual workpiece is loaded onto the machine. So having the digital twin enables us to get full confidence that we have got 100% access into hard to reach features that are contained deep within, let's say, a fabrication, and we can simulate that and actually be confident that when we press the go button, we're able to reach those. It also helps us in setup where we can actually prove the position for the fabrications on the machine. Some of our parts are quite large and effectively pushing the large envelope of the machine, but it enables us to ensure that we've actually got that key position, that prime position effectively for all the tooling access that's required.
So what sets Tebis apart with its simulation is that we use simulation in 3 steps. We use it in planning, we use it while we're programming, and then verification at the end. And the in program is very important because we're using the rotational limits of the machine head to understand if we're going to get a collision-free program while we're programming. And you'll never get a program output from Tebis that can't be achieved on the machine because we're using these rotational limits. And then for verification at the end, we don't need to worry about any collision because we've already checked it while we're programming. And this is a really important step because most other softwares will do the collision check purely at the end. So when we first met Stour Precision, and they come to us, they're already using a CAM software. But what they needed was implementation, if you like, for collision avoidance, collision checking in the software. And implementation is always a worrying, or can be a worrying feature for any company who has to move from one piece of software to another. And this is nothing that, from our point of view, we should be scared of, because Tebis is here to support you, and we supported Stour in this way. We provide an implementation plan with training, and of course, each customer becomes a partner, and we have this close relationship which we develop with the customer to ensure that they can call us at any point, we can speak to them at any point, check on how things are going, even do, if you like, a system health check, just to see if there's any areas that we need to improve on it once the software is implemented, and keep the customer in the most efficient, working in the most efficient way possible.
So the standardization that Tebis offers us by having effectively such a detailed tool library enables us to be far more confident when programming and tool selection to ensure that we get the reach and access, cutter life, and overall performance and confidence effectively that that program will run first time. The standardization that Tebis provides us with the tool library enables us to work between the variation in products that we actually do. Because of our product base is so varied, they range so massively in size and also complexity, we get the consistency that's required from that tool library. So the support from Tebis has been faultless. We've had a very personable service. Paul especially has been very good as far as reaching out to us and ensuring, after we've actually had our first installation, to check up and make sure that we're getting the utilization out of the CAM system. The additional support and hand-holding, as I would call it, as we moved across to a far more advanced CAM system has been fantastic for us.
So in the future, we see the next steps of being able to implement on other machines that are here in the machine shop. Stour Precision has a range of small VMC machines. We have some turn mill machines, which for anybody who's used these turn machines, they're very complex machines, especially if we're going to do things like part transfer with multiple heads, etc., and spindle. And this is something that Tebis can really help with again, reducing collision risks, with collision check simulation, and all of these things we think we can really help Stour with to improve and standardize their processes. The future is about moving and implementing Tebis to the other machines in the workshop, and I'm sure that Stour are going to see some real standardization and optimization on the machines and see some real great programmers and efficiencies on the shop floor.
I see that we have a bright future with Tebis moving forward. We have a number of other CNC machines, whether that be VMCs or mill turn systems, and I'm looking effectively to introduce the Tebis program across those machines as well.